considering gene interaction. And before we look at it in depth, recall that gene is a unit of inheritance, right? Gene is a unit of inheritance, and gene is found on what? Gene is found on the chromosome, is it not? And I said that gene as a unit of inheritance, is what controls inheritance traits. So for example, if I have blue eyes, there is a gene that is coding for the blue eyes, is it not? As I'm fair, there is a gene that is coding for this fairness. If you're dark, there is a gene coding for that, is it not? Yes. Now, but these genes are in pairs. So you can see something like, if we are looking at this particular trait, height, it is either you are tall or you are what? Or you are short, right? Good. If you are looking at color, it's either you are fair or you are what? Dark. Good. Now, those alternate forms of a particular gene or a particular trait is called what? Alleles, right? Good. So the alternate forms of a particular trait is called allele. That is, height is one trait. If you look at the different forms, tall and short, that's alleles, right? Yes. Is it not? Yes. Now, when we talk about gene interaction, we already know that gene is a unit of inheritance, but we have multiple genes in our body, is it not? We have multiple genes. This gene is controlling this, the expression of this character, another gene is controlling another one, and the genes, the totality of the genes we have in our body is what? Genome, right? Yes. Genome is a complete set of genetic information we have. Good. Now, the genes can interact with each other, meaning gene on at one place can influence the way the other gene is expressed. So when we talk about gene interaction, we are looking at how two or more genes influence each other's expression. Do you understand that? Let me take it physical now. If we are looking at the gene that codes for height, if something like that exists, and the gene that codes for, let's say, skin color, if the gene here affects the way this other gene is expressed, or the gene here affects the way this other one is expressed, that is what we call what? Gene interaction. It's just like communication, interaction. Do you get that? Now, the types of gene interaction we have, the two main types of gene interaction we have are allelic interactions and what? Non-allelic interactions. Now, we said allelic interactions are also called what? Intragenic interactions. So in case you see an exam, intragenic interaction, just know what they are talking about is what? Allelic interaction. And non-allelic interaction is also known as what? Intergenic. Now, in secondary school, you used to do inter-house sport, right? The inter-house sport you did in secondary school, was it between only your own house, or you have different houses? Different houses, right? House red, house white, house green. Don't know why red is always taking last. Now, different houses, that was why they call it inter-house sport, because it's between different houses. So inter means between different set of things you're looking at. Why intra means within. Now, when we look at intragenic interaction or allelic interaction, now this allelic is some alleles. And we already know that alleles are alternate form of a particular trait, right? Now, allelic interaction, we are looking at how two alleles located on the same locus, interact together. Take for example, let's look at the gene that codes for height, using height today. And we say it's either you are tall or you are what? Short. We say you are medium size, and you say. Now, either you are tall or you are short. If you are looking, and you know these two alleles are always located together, found together, right? That is why if you're writing genotype, you can write something like this, or like this, right? Yes. This one, we said both of them are dominant, right? Yes. This one is dominant, this one is recessive, right? And this one, they are all recessive. Now, this is one allele. This one codes for, let's say, tallness, right? Why this one is dual? Is it not? Good. And they are always found together. I cannot ask you to write genotype and you just tell me this. You must write them in twos, right? Even in human beings, your genotype is there a feminine AS, right? You cannot tell me what is your genotype. My genotype is A or S. You get? So they are always in pairs. The alleles are always in pairs. Now, in allelic interaction, we are looking at the way in which these two alleles that controls the same character interact, influence each other. Do you understand that? Like for example, how the tall allele influence the short allele, or how the short allele influence the tall allele. Do you get that? Yes. Now, allelic interaction have examples under them: dominance, incomplete dominance, and co-dominance. Now, dominance. If your father is tall, the last class I used my own father. Let's use your own father. If your father is tall and your mother is short, let's say this is the genotype TT of the dad and the genotype of the mom TT. If we cross this, what are we going to have? This, right? If you cross all, you have this. Is it not? Yes. Will this person be tall or short? Tall. Tall. Yes. But there is a tall alley here and a short alley here now. I thought the person will be, maybe on Monday the person will be tall and Tuesday the person will be short. The person have both the tall alley and the short alley, but one is showing forth in the phenotype while one is suppressed, right? Yes. The one showing forth in the phenotype is the what? Is the dominant alley, right? While the one that is suppressed is what? Recessive. What if the dominant was not there and we have something like this? Both of them will do what? This will show forth, right? As shortness, is it not? But because this one is present, it will suppress the expression of this one. Gene interaction, allelic interaction. This allele now is interacting with this by suppressing it. Do you get? Yes. So because there is a dominant allele here, it will suppress this one, which is the recessive dominance. Do we understand what dominance is now? Yes. Good. The next one is incomplete dominance. Now, what if you have something like this? You have, like, let's take the snapdragon, a flower, and you take a red snapdragon and you cross it with a white snapdragon. And you know, normally the way it's supposed to be, the offsprings were supposed to be either red or white, right? Looking like they are parents, is it not? But after crossing, instead of having red or white snapdragon, you now have a pink snapdragon. The human being now, they now start accusing the mother. And the mother went for a win match. Alright, so if you have something like this, red snapdragon mating with white snapdragon, and you have a pink offspring, this case, which one is dominant? Is it the pink or the white? None of them, right? Yes. This is called incomplete dominance. When you have an intermediate character. Do you get that? When you have an intermediate character in the heterozygotes. So if this was arrow and this was arrow, and you have something like arrow auto like this, and this is pink instead of maybe red or white, having an intermediate character, that is incomplete dominance. None of them are dominating. Do you understand that? Yes. And it is also allelic interaction, because we are still looking at the same alleles. So we understand what incomplete dominance is, right? Yes. Now, co-dominance. In co-dominance, you cross a red plant with a white plant, and what you are having as the offspring is an offspring with red and white patches. This can be seen like if you have cattle, the one you could generally call cow. You don't know if it's female or male, you just call them cow. You know, cattle, the female is what? Cow, right? Why the male is what? Bull. But once you see group of cattle, it's the cow. Now, if you cross a black bull with a white cow, that is, this one is pure black and this one is pure white. And the offspring, what you're having is black and white patches. Which one is dominating? No. Both of them are dominating because this one is showing, this one is showing. So we call it co-dominant, meaning both of them are dominating. Do you get? But incomplete dominance, no one is dominating. So you have an intermediate, a mixing, kind of a mixing, a dilution of the two characteristics, of the two characters. Do you get that? Yes. Now these are examples of allelic interactions. And don't forget, if you don't call it allelic interaction, you call it what? Intergenic interaction. Good. Any questions so far? Alright. Any question is tomorrow. Number 2. Another example of another type of gene interaction is non-allelic interactions. Non-allelic interactions or intergenic interaction. Now, non-allelic interaction can be seen when an allele or a gene on one locus influence the expression of a gene on another locus. This is what I mean. Locus, we already know that locus is a particular point on the chromosome where you can find a gene, right? Where a gene is in the chromosome. Now, if one gene, let's say, since I was using height and color, let me continue with height and color. Let's say the gene that goes for height and the gene that goes for skin color, are they always together? Are they together? No. They are not together, right? Good. Now, if the gene that codes for this influence the gene that code for this one, then that is non-allelic because they are not two alleles coding for the same things. Do you understand what I mean? Yes. I'll take that again. Now, height, there are some, though we'll look at specific examples when we talk about epistasis and this. But just know it overall that if a gene that codes for height influences a gene on another position, that is non-allelic interaction. Let's say, for example, this is your chromosome, right? Is it not? Is it not your chromosome? It's what? It's like you want this class to be like. Let's say this is one chromosome, this is another chromosome. Now, this is a gene on this chromosome, and the pairs of genes, where is the alternate forms, alleles. If the two alleles here influence each other's expression, we call that what type of interaction? Allelic, right? Now, if one allele here on chromosome A influence the way this other allele here on chromosome B is expressed, that type of allelic interaction, that type of interaction is what? Non-allelic, right? Good. Because different alleles, height can, the expression of one gene can alter, can influence the expression of another altogether. We'll look at specific examples. But at this point, any question?